Hey, what's up? Your name is Joe Bullet Chief. Do you have a preference for which one of those I should use? Third day in a row. Right. I'm just sending out the link to Discord. All right. So, where did we leave off? Left off with it looking pretty good. And now just need to animate. So it's gonna be an animation stream. Let me see how to do that. Okay, so what the timeline? I'll probably keep this here. Oh yeah, first I gotta do some cleanup. There's all these lights. So first I have to parent all the lights to everything that it's looking at and all those shadow lights and everything. Um, and then just start like the animation process. So let's do that first. Go into this view. I wonder if there's a way to make this not be like a solid thing. I guess wire is the best one. Wire. All right. So at least this way we can see everything. Yeah. I think the base animation for the camera is good, but now I'm going to leave that alone, let that do its thing. Look at this part right here. This looks crazy. Look at this building. It's like so many lines. It looks like a line drawing, honestly. It looks cool. But I think the main camera is doing good motion. Now it's just going to be about organizing the scene. So I'm probably going to start at the front here. So this is already here, this thing. I'm probably gonna do layers. All right, so I'm gonna do this one. Wait, what's going on with this? This was like really heavy. Is there something on, is there something on this thing that's like insane? It's so heavy. I'm gonna merge vertices. Maybe there's something going on there. Oh, I'm using an older version. All right, let me reset and open this in Blender 5.2. Oh, by the way, just to get this out of the way, I did. I was looking into like if I'm gonna be live streaming more, like what more I can do with that, and I basically I try to enable like memberships. I think because that's the only way that um, I can do something with like the live streaming portion. And I was like learning about that, like the memberships thing is kind of like Twitch subscriptions. So like people can subscribe and like support you in that way. But it seems like it works beyond just like the live streaming side. And then, I mean, I have like other things like super chats and stuff turned on, but like I don't even know how to like get people to do that yet. I mean, outside of that, after like yesterday having that whole conversation about like Patreon and how to like balance it, I feel like with Patreon, what it's good for is for like file downloads. So if I want to like release files or something, Patreon is the best way to do that. Like it lets you sell like digital assets, kind of like a Gumroad thing, and and people can like obviously subscribe and follow you and all that stuff. But with YouTube, it kind of it's kind of like monetized live streams, or you can do like private live streams just to members, which is kind of cool because I'm thinking I feel like I do pretty well just like working and talking, and I think a cool idea for a members only live stream would be like taking requests in real time or just like looking at people's files or like reviewing them or giving feedback or anything like that. Um, or like working on something and like getting taking suggestions on what to do, or just live streaming stuff that like artwork and stuff that feels irrelevant to like my main channel or that has no place. Like I can't like just like sometimes I want to do fan art or something and that feels like outside of like what I'm doing, or if I want to do it in a style or like a medium that is different. I don't know, just throwing stuff out there. But it seems like YouTube would be good for, because I already have a pretty large following here. It seems like YouTube would be good for um, like live streaming and kind of finding a way to like uh, make income from that on YouTube and like post my natural videos. Because I really don't have a following on Twitch, so I don't really see like the benefit in going there at this point. Mm, but I need to figure out how to like make income from YouTube because I have a large audience here, and I'm already here and I'm already doing stuff. And then for Patreon, I think I would just that would relegate to like all of my digital assets to download, like files and stuff, and asset packs and scans and all that fun stuff. That's just this is like stuff I've been thinking about today, but who knows? May happen, may not happen. But I gotta like try it to find out. So I try to enable the memberships thing, but that's like in review. So we'll see how that goes. I think it'd be fun to like have some emojis and have like specific names. I made two levels and I gave each of them a name that like just sounded right in the moment and was kind of funny to me. So if it goes through, you guys will see the names. I think they're pretty funny and they're fitting, really fitting to like what we're doing. All right, let's open this recent file. Start organizing. I'm gonna try to like get this shot done today. So I think visually it's done, and what's left is just like organizing it, and then animating. So that's what I'm hoping to do today. In previous scenes, what I've done is I would like select a whole portion like this and then parent it to one empty. I'm not sure, like sometimes in cityscapes like this, there's like one standout building that I can parent everything to, and then I can easily at a glance see it. But in this case, like the foreground is two parts. It's this thing, and then it's this immediate structure in the front. So there's two parts, and then the middle ground is kind of long. Like it's not, the mid ground is two parts too. So there's this part where, let's see if I can go into the camera view. So the foreground is two parts. It's the thing they're sitting on and the fence, and then there's like the two flanking structures. That's two parts. The mid ground is made up of like three parts really. It's these, let me see if I can, it's like this, well, it's this building, this building, this building, and this building. That's like the foreground of the middle ground. Then there's all these buildings, which are kind of the midground, background, and then there's the super far buildings. So yeah, I have to think. I have to decide um, either I can use empties to kind of group them to the empties, or I just pick a building like a lead building, and parent everything to it. So in this case, this building kind of stands out, so I could parent this one, and um, yeah, I could parent these two to this building, and then so it's like 3, 3, 2, and then these like 5 or whatever. And that would parent it to like the front one, whatever's the one that it clicks the fastest. It would be like the lead. All right, so I don't mind doing it like that. I want to, let's see if I can get rid of this. Okay, I need to unparent that. Okay, so yeah, foreground is this, and I might put it in collections to make it easier, like in the outliner. So do collection for foreground 01. We'll do that. Foreground 01. So then we can hide that. Oh, the fence is not selected. So I gotta select the fence. Okay. Foreground 01. What? What am I looking at? Wait. What did I do? Okay, this is a different foreground. I'll just call this something else. Just so that I know it's not the foreground. So, okay, that's there. Foreground 2 would be probably all of this stuff. Yeah. I want to keep these together, definitely. So I think this is the leader. And this is the parent. Okay, so we'll take all of this. New collection, foreground 2. Okay. The cube is going to stay where it is. So now this is like middle ground. So first I need to parent these to the building. Okay. And then these two will go into its own collection. Background 01. Okay. And now I'm going to start just going through parenting one at a time until like everything is cleared out. Let me actually do something else here. Take 1 sec. All right. All right. Let's stay organized. This is the thing about like this part of the project is like it's not as fun. It's not as like exciting, but it's super necessary. So this will be, oh yeah, I want to include this guy in with it. So parent these. And I want to make sure I keep this distance between these two buildings because as soon as this one goes over too much, this light is gonna change. Like how it impacts it's gonna change. All right, so all of these into a new collection. Midground. Is it 02? I think so. Yep. All right. What's this impacting? Okay. So this is going to this building. Okay, so this one, parent, this one, parent to this. The other good thing about having the lights have their like a short distance is that when they move past other buildings or other structures just in an animation, they're not impacting anything else. So that's the other like benefit of having a custom distance on them. Okay, so now we have this guy, this guy, this guy. We'll put them into their own collection, midground 3. 03. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Parent it. This one. Parent it. So this light is actually cutting into this building, but it's just happening all the way over here that you don't even see it because it's covered up by other stuff. So then this midground 4. 4. And then last one is last one is this, but I gotta figure out which one is gonna be the leader. It's usually the one that just like is the easiest to click on. I might make it this bigger one that's in the background. So I'll take everything, parent it to this, including the light. So then I move everything with that, and we can move it into its last collection. Background. Oh, 01. All right. So we have everything organized, nice and organized right here. We can turn everything on. It's looking good. Takes a minute. Oh my God. And it's always like the big, medium, small assets take kind of the longest because all my other buildings are like very basic. They're very basic. They're like low poly almost with like image textures. And the big, medium, small ones, they're like the most detailed and dense. So they always just take a minute to turn back on. So I can delete this one. I'll call this ledge or something, just so that I know it's not like volume. And then this is the volume. All right, so that's the volume. All right, so let me just preview this and think about how I want the buildings to be moving. Okay. So first thing, I think I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna animate it from like all the way in the back to the front. So we're gonna start off by animating this building going up. So the parallax is camera's moving back, so buildings need to move backwards as well. Like they all need to kind of become further apart and move back away from the camera, and that will like lengthen the street and make the city like it's kind of like uncompressing the perspective. And then there's also a bit of tilt, so the camera like tilts up a little bit, and was as it does that, the buildings need to be rising so that because the camera is like tilting up, the buildings are rising, so it looks like it's like almost tilting down. All right, let's just try it and we'll see. Like in theory, that's all that I need to do, so, but let's see how it goes. So I'm gonna start them. I actually like where they are. So because I set the camera to be here, this height, if I take the camera and rotate it any higher, you might see like too much, even though there's like plenty to see. You just see a lot of empty space and it's not interesting. So I don't want to like show that. Um, Unless I'm willing to like fill in that skyline with like more buildings, which is just more scope. So I like how it ends with the buildings there. So I'm gonna set a keyframe there. And then when we go back, I'm gonna slowly lower them like this. Set another keyframe, and now just make it vector. And let's play it back and see how it looks. So that's kind of working, right? Like if you just really focus on that back area, it really separates the background buildings, like the super far background buildings, from everything in front of it. Basically anything that's in shadow feels like it's disconnected a little bit. And it already makes those back buildings feel just absolutely monolithic. I mean, they are really big compared to the scene, but they look just like massive. And I like that we're still getting to catch like some of that interesting hashing up there. Like just like this is the thing is like just animating those buildings already has done so much for the parallax. And it's just a little bit. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna slowly stagger the parallax and like the groups of buildings moving backwards and up or down or side to side, whatever we want. But the camera is only moving backwards. It's not doing anything fancy, but we have now control over this like snake of a cityscape, and we can really start to um, give the illusion that the camera is turning left or right or up and down, um, or it's doing like focal changes when it's not doing any of that. It's all in the building animation. So this is like when the fun begins. Now, what is the lead here? All right, so there's no lead building. Okay, so I'm gonna turn off the background. Oh, what are the? Oh, okay. I need to parent these. Whoops, I missed them. Okay, so let me go back here to the beginning, and I'll parent them to this building. And I forgot to add them. Oh, they're, yeah, I need to add them to the background. Okay. Let me double check how that looks. Yeah, I think it still works because those are the shadows, the shadow lights, and they just reveal more shadow. You don't really see the end of it, so I think it looks okay. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Santos. I don't know. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. I'm not. I'm really bad at reading like online handles. I try to make sense of them, but I'm not the best at it. I'm sorry if I. Santos, Vans. We'll do Santos. I'm a beginner, curious what a typical day looks like in your role and how you landed there. Doing like this animation, like freelance personal project stuff, or what do you mean like what typical day? I mean, I go to work in the daytime and then I come home and then I do this. I work on personal stuff at home. One of the things I have this you should probably check out. I have a podcast called Edit Mode where I talk to like art friends of mine who are either beginners or also just kind of like figuring like starting on a new thing on a new project. But that's a great way because I talk to some artists that are like, yeah, all I do is I just wake up and I like make art and then I go to sleep. Like I don't have any time for anything else. And I think in a way that's kind of the reality of doing artwork like full time, like having a day job and then doing like any type of artwork for yourself or as a side gig or whatever or freelancing. Um, Rarely have time for anything else. So that's kind of what a typical day looks like, to be honest. Just like working and then trying to make the best of the the time you're working, either by working with friends or hopping on like a Discord call with somebody, um, or just making artwork and sharing it constantly online so that there's some like connection to people. But yeah, it's kind of lonely sometimes. All right, so let's see. I think I'm going to put a empty here. So I'm gonna use a cube and I'll just like sandwich it so that it looks like a flat kind of board. Let's get an empty and I'm gonna scale it and on the. So last time I think I was streaming, I said it would be nice if you could change the colors of area lights and different lights in your scene. Not like change the color of the light, but change the actual like gizmo for the light, like make it purple or pink or something. So then it's black, but then it's like pink. I know there's like I think there's wireframe random. Like there's this. Wait, hold on. Does this change the color? No. This is kind of handy though. But like I wish I could change the color of the empties, for example. Like I wish I could make them instead of black outlines or instead of just like black lines, I can make them pink, like hot pink. So then I know where all the empties are. Does that make sense? Wait. Oh, that's background. Yeah, no, you can't do it. Oh well. Would be nice. So this is going to be our mid-ground, like 3 or whatever. So all these buildings have the lights parented to them, and then I'll just take the 2 buildings and parent them to this empty. And so one thing I want to make sure I'm doing is I take the empty and I put it in the right collection. So that's mid-ground 4. I know I can color collections, which is handy, but I don't need to color the collections as much as I want to color what's in the viewport. I don't know, maybe that's like a thing I can request a feature or something. I've never done that. Do you do 3D full time or is it like a side thing? So my day job is kind of like working is like a design studio where I'm working part of like a team that designs all types of random stuff that comes into the department or whatever. So it can be something like a flyer for like an event, or it can be um, like some kind of scientific graphic or like a 3D render. I don't need to do 3D at my job, but like just being able to do 3D helps because then I can like be more helpful as an artist. It's basically like a think of like a freelancing studio like everyone needs to know a wide range of skills and whatever and the job can come from anywhere, high budget, low budget, like anything. And so that's kind of like the gist. So I don't have to be a 3D artist at my job to do what I do because I have a large background as a concept artist, digital painter. I can do like logos, I can do whatever. I just find more creative fulfillment in a way doing like this kind of stuff. So actually, the stuff that I'm doing here is like pretty different um, than like my day job stuff. It's actually like kind of boring if I showed you. Um, it would just be like just like scientific illustrations and stuff like that. But it's really important, you know, for communicating like information and technology to like to people, to your client or whatever. Think of like marketing or like advertising kind of like that. So like you'll get a brief and then this is how much money you have and then I just kind of do my best. But definitely freelance, it feels basically like freelancing. But this stuff right here, like everything I'm doing here is not at all, or like very, it's basically not the same as what I do at work. And so that's why I think I still have creative energy when I come home, like take a break, walk my dog, whatever, get some food, and then I can like sit back down and get back into this. Because this is where it's like I can do whatever I want. I can model stuff, I can kit bash, I can do whatever, and it can be like based on a property that already exists, which is pretty fun. It's like fan art. But yeah, I mean, I've freelanced for a long time, and that's more probably applicable to what most people are doing, like freelancing. So if you have questions about freelancing, I can answer stuff about that, like how I got into it and how to do it, because it's definitely it's that's what I think that's what most artists end up doing. But I will say that I think that artists also have a day job, whether it relates to art or not, but they just don't really like share that or like talk about it because it's not really relevant to the, you know, to the stuff that they're putting out there. So if I'm posting Akira stuff, like telling you about my day job, even if I worked at like a grocery store or a library, it just wouldn't be relevant. It would be irrelevant. So, you know, people who are at cons who are selling their artwork, they would rather probably be fully making their living off of that. So they're trying to like, you know, make it happen, manifest it a little bit rather than like if they have an office job or like a they're a developer. I've worked in as a freelancer with a lot of people who I've worked with a couple people who were like board game designers and they were hiring me to do artwork for them and they were like developers like in their day job. So they were like, I want to make board games. Like I wish I could just make board games all day long. I love them. I want to like create them all day long. I wish that was my job, but I have to do development work. So they're like, you know what I mean? It's like they would rather be doing that. So that's what they kind of mostly put the attention into. All right, so let's do this. Oh, okay. Right here. And then we will parent all of these to this middle empty. All right. And that needs to go where? Midground 3. Okay. So then it's this one, midground 2. And I will, same thing, set up the empty. This is all basically just to make it easier for me to like, okay, I want to grab this group of buildings, I can grab the empty. This just makes it easier for me. And I've always preferred these types of empties rather than just like the star, because those are hard to see when there's like a lot going on. Parent. And we'll put that in midground 2. Okay. All right, all right. I think this is the next area. Yeah, these two. That is midground one. Midground one. Okay. And last but not least, and I won't put an empty on this thing because I don't anticipate having to move it a lot. Dude, something is up with this one. Something is up with it. It's like really dense. Like, I don't know what it is. Is it 4K? It's like scaring me. What is this? Wetness. I mean, there's a lot going on here. Like, I don't know. I wonder if I can like delete most of it because it's like, hold on. Let me see if I can look at the statistics. It's not insane, but it's like noticeably laggy. Maybe I need to do this. Remove unused slots. No. Is it just like high poly? What am I looking at? Does it have like, oh, it does have bevel on it. Maybe I need to remove that. Trying to specialize in technical artist work, especially procedural stuff. Thanks for sharing about your path. Technical artist work, especially procedural stuff. Are you talking about like simulations and stuff? Procedural. Yeah, like what you're I think what you're describing to me just sounds like without really knowing fully what industry you want to work in or in what way. But what when I read that, what I hear is a skill. So you can like specialize in a skill, but it's hard to get like a full career or a full day job out of like off of one skill. This is something that like on a resume would be like skills, you know? Like here's all the stuff I know. It's like I know Photoshop or like I know this stuff. Just because you know Photoshop doesn't mean you can have a job where you're just doing Photoshop. If you're in a design studio or even like in a game or or a film product or whatever, even marketing, you would need to know like multiple things. Um, you would need to know like that plus non-technical stuff, maybe some like abstract type stuff. Technical artwork. I'm imagining that's like geometry nodes and that's like building out like suites and tool sets like that. And that is like a useful person to have on your team, but that's one person out of like many. So I could see that being like, yeah, I can see that being a useful person to have on a team of like if you want to have a wide breadth of artists, like a wide skill set of artists that can do anything, like a production team, and then one of them is like a technical artist, that's definitely helpful. You would be essentially building tools for other artists to use or something like that. So maybe I would focus on showcasing like the different like procedural tools you've built that like an artist who's not a procedural artist could use and how easy that would be to like insert into whatever pipeline, whatever product that is. Sometimes that's like VFX and stuff. Geometry nodes, shading, compositing. Yeah. So Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a good skill set. That's a really good, like, that's, I don't really have a lot of skill in geometry nodes, but there is a guy where I work who he kind of is the technical artist. He like loves math and he's really sharp with geometry nodes, or he's willing to like sit down and really learn it, learn a complicated thing, and then even teach it to other people. Like if I want to know about geometry nodes, I could ask him like, "Hey, how do I do this thing?" And he'll explain it to me. He can send me his blend file, and it will be all like organized perfectly, so then I can understand it. He'll like label everything. So that is a good skill to like. That would be as an artist, let's say you're like it's messed up to say, but let's say there's a pipeline and who can we slot into the pipeline that would like really help. So let's say you have a pipeline of artists who are manually creating a lot of stuff, a lot of scenes, a lot of repetitive things like common assets, buildings, interiors. Think of like ArcViz, like there's instead of having somebody model every single item, you can say, "Oh, I can just build a geometry node tool that can let you procedurally add like cabinets and stairs and like offices and things like that." So if you would go into the ArcViz industry, which I'm sure this would be really helpful. I think ArcViz they use a lot of like Unreal Engine and stuff like that. But this would be good for something like that. Think of like environments where there's a lot of artists and they need somebody who can like build custom tools for them. So like if you were in if you were working in our like department, I would ask you, I mean, you'd probably be swamped with work, but like on top of that, I'd be like, hey, can you build a custom, like, I don't know, generator for like just drag and dropping different colors on like carpets or something like that? You know what I mean? Or like different shaders for like glass or something. Um, because a lot of times in like a pipeline, some stuff gets made and then it's never used again, like it's bespoke. And then some stuff gets made that then can be recycled again another time. And you would fit perfectly as somebody who's like, I can make you something that's going to give you value like later on down the line. So it's not just valuable right now, it's going to be valuable for many months or many years or even after I'm gone, it's going to be like helping you guys. So that would be the way to kind of like tailor your artwork, maybe your portfolio, and yeah, I mean, a technical artist is like super handy to have on a team. Having like a creative powerhouse type person who can just like go fast and make stuff, and then somebody who can like build custom tools. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that made sense. So I think these modifiers are what, yeah, just turning them off already like makes the scene run faster. I think I might need to turn these off because I don't really need them. I mean, it's like a foreground asset that's in shadow. It doesn't need to have all that stuff. Yeah, so now hopping in and out of edit mode is way faster. It's these modifiers that we're slowing it down. Okay, so let's take these three, parent them to this guy. Unless they're already parented. Yeah, they're parented. Okay. Foreground 2. Foreground 1 is the ledge. Okay, we're good here. We can start animating. Bring this over here. Bring the timeline up. What I might do is I might do a split here where kind of have it like this. Yeah. Then I can have my scene here on the left. Even though it's wide, I'd rather have it there. And then here I'll have the scene. So, okay. So there's no empty here. It's just the building. So that building's going up a little. It's very subtle. That's good. Then, all right. So the empty is, the cube is going to have to move as well. That's the trick. The cube is going to probably, it's either going to have to be on its own, like, timeline thing, or it's going to be parented to something else. Because I don't want to move the cube around too much, because watch, when I move it, it really changes, like, what the lights do. Changes it a lot. Um, I could take all the empties and parent them to this cube. But I don't know if that seems like a lot. Let's just do this. So right now, the whole middle section is like one piece, and you can tell. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this guy, move it back. So from here, oh no, from here, from starting one, all the way to the end, it's just gonna move back slowly. Oh yeah, because this freaking light is here. Let me see something. Yeah, ugh. That's so annoying. Or maybe I'll do this. Thanks for the insight. Definitely. Yeah, yeah, true. I'm glad that's helping. And like look into studio pipelines, like look into ArcViz. I can see procedural geometry node stuff. I'm sure ArcViz people are using Blender more now. Look into just like ArcViz. That would be a great one. Um, like procedural skies, clouds, like environments, parks. Like there's like a building down the street from where I live that's like being renovated, and they have those big like concept art things out front that have like artist visualization. Those people like um sometimes you can literally go, and if you see that, you can just like go to their website and see if they're working with somebody, if they make it themselves, reach out to them and say, "Hey, like whatever. I'm interested in working with you guys. I make procedural tools, whatever." You can just like open up you can just try to open that door, open that conversation. Better than just like doing nothing. So I think this one can't move too much. Yeah, if I move this here, we can move it back like this. We'll just move it back until it hits the light like that. So just nudged everything, made some. Okay, so let's see how it looks now. Oh, what I might do is I might move it down to, well, do I want to move it up? Let's see how that looks. I wonder if it's not. Another thing I can do, since I can't move it back, is I can just scale it down. So I can start here. I think I'm gonna have to move it up. I'm gonna have to move it up like dramatically. I think moving it up is gonna be I just need to move it up more. I think. Maybe start it lower. That looks so crazy. God, that's like giving me vertigo. So I'm gonna see if I can, let's mess around with making it smaller as well. Just to see what that does. I definitely don't like how it just touches the very top of that fence post. So I don't like that. I might just keep it just low enough. I can also animate this building slightly separate. So maybe it goes down a little. I don't know. This is kind of where we're just experimenting. Hmm. Okay, it's subtle enough that it's working. I think as we make progress through more buildings, it will start to build and like multiply the intensity. So what do we want happening here? Do we move it up or down or back? Let's see. One sec, let me get my dog.
Okay.
She has to wear a pillow because she's got like a little rash on her belly. So she was just snoring with the pillow. Hopefully she won't snore now. Okay. So let's see how this looks. This is moving back and up. Let's see how that looks. It's very subtle. It might be too subtle. And also because I think the other buildings are moving, it's just kind of throwing it off. It's like canceling it out. I think it has to move up more. So with it moving up and back, it almost cancels it out. Yeah. Maybe keep it down here. So the thing about the buildings moving down is that they look smaller. So as the camera moves back, it makes the buildings look smaller about them moving back. So I wonder if we increase their scale. Just 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 like messing around here. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. It's weird, but because the way the camera is moving, it makes it look like it's attached. So like I wonder if I just like that looks crazy. Jeez. So the camera is not moving there, but it looks like it is. Let's maybe do that. Let's first. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna animate the buildings and then I'll animate the camera because that's usually the way I do it. I think I animated the camera early just because I wanted to see motion. But let's do that. The buildings that are closer are definitely gonna have like a bigger parallax because they're closer. So you're gonna see them moving a lot more. Oh man, that is trippy. Especially with these background buildings, it almost looks like we're looking down on them because like the perspective, like the angle of the windows, it looks like we're looking down on a building and it's breaking my brain. All right, so one of these, I think this one, I'm probably gonna try this. I'm gonna try to move it like forward or something. Let's see. So then what it's gonna do is gonna cancel out the movement. So it's gonna look like it's standing still or it's not moving as much as the rest. I had Chipotle before I signed on. Sorry about that. God, that looks crazy. So because the buildings are moving down, it makes the background buildings that are moving up just a little bit look like they're going crazy high up, like they're moving super fast. Yeah, I think it might be too much vertical movement. So let's see what we can do here. I don't want everything to be moving too much up and down. And then at this one, it can also move forward a little bit. Just give everything the vector. Yeah, this building, I think I might have it move back the most. So it'll start here, and then it'll move back even more. So then we get this sense of like depth. All right, let's see. It's all very subtle. Ooh, I don't know what that did, but that did something, or maybe I'm just noticing it. Yes, that's doing something. Let's go with that. God, it's like hypnotic. I like here how like more of the building gets revealed. Let me see about moving this one to the right. So it starts here, and let's move it a little bit to the side this way. Let's see if that does anything. Because then it feels like the FOV kind of opens up and gets wider. Maybe it's too subtle. You know what? This is gonna have to definitely go up. And this one too. Just it rising even subtly because it has those like ridges and stuff. It's gonna be more noticeable. Whoa. Like, is it rising? I literally can't tell. I don't know what it's doing. I'm like tripping myself out. I don't think it is. It it is, but it's too small, too subtle. Okay, let's move this one. A little bit like that. So now we can see. Jeez. It's looking crazy. I might also move this one a little bit to the out. God, that looks crazy. I want this building to be getting smaller. Yeah, there's a lot more life. You can see the life in just the way it, like, and when I speed back and forth, you can see how much is going on. And this building will go up. Wow. Jeez, that's really tripping me up. All right, I'm gonna try not to get too distracted by all the movement and just finish it up because we're close. We're getting to the end here. I mean, the end of the scene that's almost done. And then maybe at the end of stream, maybe in the next 30 minutes or so, I can maybe tease or show you what's left and or show you like one of the next scenes I'm gonna work on, and we can look forward to that. Like with the membership thing, like I can do polls. So while I'm finishing up this animation and for future work, I could put up polls of like what should I work on next, like out of a set list of things, which I think could be fun. So let's see what it looks like when the camera moves back. Because I do want the camera to move back, like revealing a lot more and pointing up. So let's see what that looks like. It might be too much. God, that's weird. Oh my God, I feel like I'm about to fall. God, this is weird, man. This is so weird looking. It's like even tripping me up. Imagine seeing this on like a gigantic screen right in front of you. 70 millimeter, the Odyssey. Ah! Jesus. All right, so what I'm looking for as I'm watching it is like what's not working, what's breaking the illusion. I definitely think these foreground elements, like all the scaffolding and stuff, is okay. It doesn't need to move, but it feels flat. It feels makes it feel a little bit flat. So what I think is, what if I just move it forward a little bit? So it starts here in I for keyframe, and if it moves forward just a little bit, like that. So let's see it moving forward first. Is there even a difference? I don't think there's a difference. But if it moves up or even like towards us, what if it moves down? Let's see what that looks like. Does that look weird? feel like it needs to move forward more. Let's just see. Gotta test it. I don't know. Something looks off about it. Maybe it needs to go up. Yeah, like now it's noticeably disconnected. I think it's moving too much though. Like it should not be moving that much. Like it should be, but it shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the way it's framing. I like the framing that it's doing. So I want to keep that. And I don't know if it makes sense for it to be moving up that much. Whoop. I think it's also the ledge. The ledge needs to move back with the camera a little bit, I think. Is it even moving? It is, but barely. Wait, is the camera FOV changing too? No, thought it was. So there's like two tangents that are really irking me. And I don't know what to do about them. Yeah, the left building is moving a little fast. There's just I want to try messing with the camera FOV because that's another like one more thing that can change how much distance there is. Like going to 60. 60, not 600. Like I kind of want this. So let's see. This is all why it's like all so delicate. Yeah, what I don't like is this. I don't like this right here. This bar crossing the top of the buildings. I hate that so much. So I'm trying to do everything I can to make it not do that. But also, like, I think these buildings can go down. Where is that? I think that these buildings can go down because it will just make the city in the background seem bigger when they go down. Same thing here. These can go down. I think this building is going up too fast. Too fast, too furious. I need to not select that. There it is. Okay. I think it's just going up too fast. Oh, this is not even moving at all. That's maybe also why. But I don't know, maybe I don't want it to move. Let's see if that helps at all. Moving it back just ever so subtly. It does something weird here where it like reveals something and something behind it. Or no, that's just empty. Never mind. All right, let's see how that looks. I really like this, just this part right here. I love it. It's my favorite part of the the thing I'm paying attention to a lot that I'm not saying out loud is the very last frame. So I want the very last frame to make them look small in this massive city. So through the animation and the parallax, you're already getting the impression that the city is massive, but I also want the last frame to seem that way. So the first frame is they're big in the shot and you can't really tell how big the city is, like not right away. And then as the camera moves back, the city almost like reveals itself. So I think I'm gonna have to move this guy up a little bit more. I'm just gonna do this. This is like drastic, but let's just see. I just want to see how it feels because yeah. What I do, the reason I did that is a cheat, right? So if I go all the way out, there's just this empty space here. And instead of adding another building there and filling it, I'm thinking like, oh, I can just slide the building way the hell over there. So the left side is gonna look weird, but don't look at that. Okay, too dramatic, too dramatic, too drastic. That's actually working. Like maybe I'm trying not to cope, but I think it's actually working. So think maybe do same thing here. Move it way over. Reveal those like crazy buildings back there. Move it up just a tad. Gives a falling effect, yes. Does. That might have been the thing, was that it was just too subtle. Also bring this over, bring it up. The thing is, now there's more separation between middle ground and background. Like you feel way more distance between them. And I like how this building moves out of the way so you can really see how much more building there is back here. It's kind of cool. Like, doesn't that look nuts? So it fills the space nicely. But I think I want to have it like, I think this building needs to come up some more. Also, the lighting is it's just too much, too bright. I think I almost want the buildings to open up. I think that might be what needs to happen. Like they need to move sideways a little bit. So that I think that also helps. Yeah. I think the effect might be a little too dramatic, but it's in the right heading in the right direction. Yeah. And this one. So trippy. It feels exaggerated, and I realize that. But at least now we know what's working and what's happening, so then we can dial it in. Like if I want to if it's feeling too intense, I can dial it in. But when I look at it on the second monitor, like it's a little bit smaller, it doesn't feel too bad. There's this building in the foreground that's kind of doing something. It's not moving, so it's kind of breaking. That's so weird. Like I kind of like that it's a little bit off. Like it's not realistic, of course, but and it's not even like subtle parallax. It's like something totally different. And I kind of like that. Like anytime I'm working on something and there's something about it that happens that feels like weird or different or like unique, I kind of like to hold on to that because that um is like a breadcrumb of style. So like when you think about like art style and how people have different art styles, it's stuff like that is like it's something that feels like different and feels maybe like wrong, like oh that doesn't I don't like that. I don't like how that feels or looks or whatever. Like that looks kind of weird or it's like a pop of color that you're like, that I don't like that pop of color. But like that's their style. They use that pop of color. So I'm not trying to find my style here. I think it just comes naturally, but this is one of those things where like I hate it and love it at the same time. And if I lean into it, it can definitely be a thing that I look for in future work, where's this kind of uncanny motion, and that can be like my style. You know what I mean? But also that can sound like cope, where it's like, oh, it's my style. I don't. It looks bad, you know, which definitely don't want that. I think these items need to move closer together or something. Or out? Or up? I don't know, I can't tell yet. I think it moving out is going to be the play. Yeah. Hey, Timmy or Jimmy. You'll never know. You'll never tell. Um, I don't hate it, and it makes me feel a little bit uneasy, and maybe that's a good thing. This could also be a scene where it just moves slower, like I slow down the scene by like 50%. I would say, would you say if the main characters were moving, they would stand out? You mean like moving like their limbs and stuff? I want to add some subtle like wind blowing on their hair and on their clothes, I think. But I'm okay. I think I'm gonna keep them like mostly static. Yeah, they're not gonna be doing anything like that. They're not gonna be standing. They're gonna stay seated and mostly in these like static poses because they're talking. They're kind of just sitting there talking. Um, so I'm okay with I'm gonna keep them in their main poses, but I want to give them some motion so that they don't feel like truly like statues. Let me see about these this fence here. I think if I change the material on the fence, it might also help. The fence being like mostly black does kind of put it away. Wait, this is done in eevee. That's insane, man. Cycles would be much easier, but it destroys everything apart. Yeah, somebody on Insta was asking me like why I use eevee instead of cycles, and for stuff like this, I think well, first of all, the way that I use lighting in eevee, the way I like completely like destroy it and change its properties, it would just look really broken in cycles. And the second biggest reason is well, other than it rendering like way faster, like every frame takes like 5 seconds or something when I render it. But this big cube is a volume cube, and even though volume is like getting much better in cycles, it's still like 10 times faster in eevee. It's real time, right? Like this is real time volume in eevee. So that's why and like the volume is what allows me to really dial in like um the atmospheric perspective and the atmosphere in the city and all the uplighting and all that fun stuff. The volume is what lets me do that. Cycles originally when I started this project, I wanted to do it all in cycles because I thought that was going to be like the best, most cinematic thing ever. Like if I do it in cycles, it'll look super realistic, it'll look awesome, it'll have all this detail. And for like a still render, yeah, it looks good. You know, you have all the little like ambient occlusion and global stuff, all the illumination and the lighting looks more realistic, yes. But for my patience, it's not worth it. And for the way that like right now I'm watching this over and over again and it's just like making subtle adjustments. I like seeing it in its like nearly finished state and then making like little adjustments in it. So that's another reason why I like using eevee. And then also the last biggest thing is compositing. So like glare, film grain, all that stuff in the compositor it just loads like in real time faster. So if we were to add, let's say, bloom, glare, if we were to add bloom here, like in my compositor a video on the channel, I do a lot of this stuff. So what we can do is, now that we have the glare node, we can go to always. And now there's a little bit of subtle bloom on like these lights and stuff. And it doesn't really change like playback speed. And the volumes, and there's like a bajillion lights. Yeah, it's insane. Speaking of the compositor, let's actually see if we can increase some stuff here. So I'm probably gonna go a little orange tint. And we'll do like, let's just go max and then we'll dial it in. Saturation is fun because like you can make these red lights not red just by the saturation of the bloom. Pretty crazy. I think I'm gonna change the threshold. That looks cool. I know it's like super broken, but this looks cool. It looks like a dream, you know? There is gonna be a scene that I'm gonna do that's very dreamlike, so I think I might legit just give it 0 threshold. But threshold is key. Look at that. Default threshold is 1. It looks bland. There's bloom, but it looks like there's no juice. Make it 0.1. Now we're cooking. Now there's like salt and pepper and seasoning in there. 0.5 even. Even 0.5 is better than 1. The threshold, you gotta open up the highlights and mess with the threshold. That can be the thing saving you. So I'm just holding shift, I'm dialing it in. Ooh. Yummy bloom. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Like right back here. Look at that glow. Even the fence, like the fence is being eaten by the glow, so everything kind of turns into this like silhouette. And this like blue stuff here, these blue parts under the balcony, like they were barely showing up. And now it looks so good. It looks like so alive. All of this, all of these windows like breaking through, popping through. These lights, so cool. A little bit too much on them, and that's just like the light that's on them, but that gives it like so much more life. And like just look at here, look at all the colors, the dark red gradient, the dark gradient into the light blue, into the light purple, and then again into the dark yellow, into the light blue. There's just so many beautiful gradients here. This building is kind of messing it all up, but I might remove the blue underneath of them. I don't know. It's a little, it looks looking like giving like Christmas tree vibes. Ooh-wee! Yeah, this light is like a million or something, so that's why it looks crazy. So yeah, let's maybe turn off the yeah, let's maybe turn these off. So I'm gonna select the blue glow, and maybe I'll just turn it down. Maybe it's just too bright. Or maybe we just turn it off. You know, it doesn't need to be there. I think off is better. After this project is done, are you gonna stream more? Well, I see the streams. Well, I see the stream schedule, but I don't know if you did private any. Yeah, I haven't streamed. This one and the last 2 streams, the past 2 days have been the first streams I did in like a year. And I would like to. I mean, this project is this. I'm gonna be streaming this all the way until basically BlenderCon, which is like in September. And I'm going to BlendCon and I'm going to be presenting about what I'm doing here. There's like 4 or 5 other shots that I haven't that I'm probably not gonna show here that are done and that are probably even more ambitious than these. Like really epic. I'm really proud of them. And some of those shots in terms of versions, like this is version 3, let's say. Um, in terms of like working on it, saving and work. Well, no, this is version 1. Some of the other shots that I finished already, like I would be done and then I had to go back. I'd be done. Those some of those went up to like version 8. And one of them I even showed last year to one of the Blender developers and got his input on like the animation for one part of it, and which was insane. Which was just like, hey, can I show you something I'm working on? And he's like, oh yeah, like the guy who like does all the animation for the actual like Blender Open movies. So that was a very cool opportunity to get his input. And he was even nice. He was like, "Are you looking for feedback?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, please. What do you think?" Because it was done, and he's like, make the character do better animation. Basically, like it looked stiff. So then I ended up finding an artist who helped me do the animation on the character, like actual motion. But yeah, that's in September. So I'm definitely gonna be trying to stream as much as I can between now and September, and then we'll see. And then we'll see because, you know, there's 2 parts. Part of me wants to stream like other stuff, not even just artwork, like I want to play games and stuff. Uh, and then there's another part of like what can I yeah, like the question is like what else should I stream? Modeling, um, tutorials, like take requests, whatever, or like find a new project. So there's definitely a lot more possibilities of like what else I can stream, and I want to explore all of that. But from now until September, it's going to be mostly this animation, or like this the Akira series. It really does make it stand out. Love the detail in the rooms. Yeah, those rooms. I think that's a photograph. So this model is from big, medium, small, and they have these like buildings, these like background Tokyo buildings, and it's not even it's not even parallax or anything. It's like straight up just like a texture. It's just like an emissive texture. But yeah, this looks way. I think this looks look overblown. Like the bloom is way too strong here. But that's just all of that to say. This is why I use eevee, because you can just do stuff like this. But now that we have the bloom in real time in the viewport, we can start making edits, like, oh, this is too bright on the characters. The characters are way too bright. So now we can start dialing in the lighting. Why can't I select them? So maybe we don't want any lighting. Adjust light power, that's pretty cool. I know you could do that in the scene. Yeah, like kind of maybe there. Because I don't want them to be too bright. There's also like a weird glare on this thing, which we need to figure out where that's coming from. Are those buildings from Polyhaven? No, I don't think Polyhaven has buildings. These buildings are a combination of a combination of my own buildings from a building pack and buildings from uh, big, medium, small. So, like these antenna buildings and some of this foreground stuff is big, medium, small. They're um, they're like Neo Tokyo pack, and pretty much every building after that, like see these here, these are from big, medium, small. They're one out of like they. it's a pack of like 300 assets, and it's like characters and all this other stuff. But these are just like in their building selection, and all these other buildings here are from that I made. So a lot of these I made for the previous Akira animation, and you can get them either on Gumroad or on just like my Patreon. Like these buildings, I think you can get on Gumroad for like a dollar or more. I recently had to change my stuff that was on Gumroad that was $1 to something higher than a dollar because I realized that if someone paid a dollar, half of it went to PayPal, especially if they use PayPal. The other half went to Gumroad, and I got zero. So that was a crazy thing to realize that like every time a dollar, because I would make stuff $1 just because it'd be like I want to make it super accessible, and I want to make it and I want to at least get something out of it. So a dollar was like always the minimum that I could put it to, but anything else a dollar basically not get it, especially if people are paying with PayPal, and like I get it, like PayPal makes it more accessible. So that's why if you go back, you might start seeing stuff on there that's like $2 or $3. But some of the buildings I have are free. Like my first building pack was just free, and that's gonna remain free. And that has like 36,000 downloads or something. All right. One thing that's happening is okay, the bloom is too strong. That's for sure. But also, like this, there's some kind of light here that I don't like. I think it's this one. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that as much. I'm gonna see if I can adjust the material or something. It's just too bright. Well, I could bring down the glossiness so then it won't be as bright. I'm going to join the Discord because I'm finally going to start doing Blender for real now. Hey, yeah, happy to have you. You can also join it if you're not doing Blender for real. You can join it if you just want like to be around artists in an art community. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do something like that, where the light is on the fence but not like glowing. I think I need to turn down the roughness, or turn it up, I mean, so that it's not like reflecting too much light. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Whoa. I don't think I need a shadow. Is this a shadow? This is a shadow. I need a shadow on this building. Right here. that even doing anything? Kind of. Mm, yeah, the volume scatter does something. Volume scatter does the most, but it gets too much high contrast. Okay. Let me try this over here too, like right on this billboard thing. And I think I need to get rid of these lights. Let's see, where are they? I just don't want them on. I know they probably should be on, but I don't want them. So I'm just going to delete those faces. This is essentially it. I think I might fine tune like the building movement and like the speed at which they're separating. But this is really essentially it. Trying to get a light, a shadow under there without it just being like fully dark like that. So I'm seeing, I like the gradient of the silhouette to the light like that. So I'm seeing what I can do. Maybe just turn it down. Maybe rotate it a bit. What advice would you give if you were to relearn shader nodes? That's a good question. Let me think about that. What advice would I give if I was going to relearn shader nodes? Wait, yeah. So if I was going to relearn shader nodes, oh, maybe I'm too tired to answer. Shader nodes, I feel like I learned very slowly over time because well, To be honest, and I don't know if like I don't use a lot of like shaders. I think I've had this question come up a lot where people are like, what shaders are you using on your to get that anime look or whatever? And I'm not using any shaders. I'm just using PBR textures like everyone else from Polyhaven and such. Like if I click on anything, these are just standard. These are just standard. I guess my advice would be that you really don't need a lot to do. Don't need to. You can do very little with a lot, or you can get a lot done with very little. So, like for example, let me see. Uh, are you working on a still image? Oh, sorry. Are you working on a still image or thinking about animating anything in the scene? Oh, it's animated. We've been animating it all evening or all night. Here, I'll do a playback for you. This is the animation. So it's like this camera moving and city revealing how massive everything is. So it's one shot out of like a series. Parallaxing. Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can see how much how it looks, kind of like a side by side. A bunch of stuff just moving, a bunch of buildings moving up, down, left, right, all types of ways. So the buildings are moving and the camera is all the way over here. Camera is moving very subtly, but everything else is moving. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Um, Let me just answer your question about the shader stuff. So first, you can do a lot with very little. So if you're doing like textures or materials, I personally like to be really efficient. So I usually do like a base color and a normal map, and that's it. I don't need much else. So that keeps the scene very light. Like I used to think I needed like ambient occlusion, anisotropy, like all these other things, like roughness. I used to think I needed all of that to get like a realistic or a good look, and you really don't. You only need like sometimes just one texture, like an image texture is enough, depending on what it's doing. So I think I would say that is that um you really don't need a it looks intimidating, but a lot of that stuff you can ignore. And one thing that I do a lot is I will recolor like textures or something by just combining them with a mixed color node or plugging them into a color ramp and then adjusting the colors manually there. So that's really fun. Um, so if you do a color ramp for base color and then like a noise texture for the normal map and bump, you can make plastic, you can make like wood, you can make all types of like procedural materials, and that's really fun. Um, so yeah, I'm more on the side of like less is more. So strip away everything and then put it piece by piece, and then until you hit exactly what you need, and then stop, and then just roll with that. Um, but yeah, in terms of like shaders on the technical sense, I'm not really doing too much. Um, if you've watched the past two streams and this one included, you can see everything I'm doing, and I'm not really going into the shaders or doing anything like special. It's PBR textures, and then it's like everything else. It's volumetrics, it's lighting, it's textures. Um, but in terms of like shaders, the way that I understand it, I'm not really doing anything with shaders. I'm more often I'm like unplugging things and deleting things because I just think they're like getting in the way and making things busy. I think this guy needs to move up. Let's see how long we've been going for here. Almost 2 hours. So that's gonna be a solid time to hop off, I think. I think 2 hours is a good amount that I try to stick to. So But yeah, this I really don't like this light. Let me try to turn it away or something. Nice approach with the fence. I would have just done geometry. I think it is an alpha texture. This again is one of those things that's from Polyhaven. So yeah, it's just an alpha texture. That's how it looks. This is like, I mean, the fact that this is from Polyhaven and it's like free is nuts because it's such a good model, and I think it's like modular, so you can mix and match stuff. I just took the two pieces I needed, which was this corner bit and then these sheets, and went from there. But yeah, I did not make the fence. Sorry to disappoint. Like the fence in this scene is actually like in the way. It's an obstacle. It's uh it's getting in the way of the beauty of the scene, but it needs to be there for the setting. As impressive as it is, I wish I didn't have to use it. I might make this a circle. Yeah, then we have like some softer light fall off here, which I think is good. I can kind of control it. I want like I want there to be a bit of a vignette where there's like shading or shadow around the edges. So I'm just trying to like turn the light. The big thing is I want a shadow under this lip, and then I want a light on these on the fence a little bit. So it's just like moving and grooving until I get it. Works beautifully. I would have thought shader nodes is really complicated, but I see now I do have some knowledge on lighting, but not that much on compositing. Lovely scene though. Yeah, for compositing in the compositor, I guess, in Blender, because compositing can also mean like rebuilding a whole scene in like After Effects or something with like layers, render layers. But compositing in Blender is more just like stacking effects and getting cool. But they like this is 5.2, so you can see they've added presets. So I don't know if you were the one that was talking about let's see. Let's see. Were you the one mentioning like technical skill? Oh no, that was the other guy. Um yeah. Sorry. I was gonna say like for a technical artist making a bunch of these presets shader nodes would be super handy because you can just drag and drop them in and you'd be saving artists a bunch of time. But Blender themselves added like chromatic aberration, film grain. I don't even know what this is. Night vision or something. Sensor noise, vignette. They added all these that you can put in, which is nice. It makes it look more like cinematic. But I mostly use bloom in like night scenes and day scenes. I think I just try to avoid using bloom. And then I'll use maybe some grain or something like that. I have some scenes on my Instagram if you go where I'm like really maxing out the settings and it just looks nuts. Here, let me save this and I'll pop open a quick one before I hop off. that has like really wild compositor stuff going on in there. I think I might want to duplicate this. Yeah, I think I want it in front of them so that it looks like there's light in front of them. Something like that. I think that actually looks cool because now they stand out a little bit more. You see, they pop a little bit more. Turn up the glossy just a little bit. Yeah, having some uplighting actually might be the play on this guy, like on this leg right here. There's a bit of light. I think it's from this. It's just a little bit too bright. I mean, I do like it. It just feels too, like it's taking up. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting the animation of the movement of these short. So I don't want it moving too much. So I'm picking an earlier time in the timeline and grabbing that keyframe. So right now, for example, this building moves this range. And if I wanted to stop here at the end instead of here, I go to like 180, put a keyframe, and then I just overlap it and then set it to vector again. So now it only goes out to there. Dude, this moire or whatever is really messing with it. These like really close together lines are messing with the render. You see that? It's like glitching out. Where is it? This one. Yeah. Just makes it subtle because I think they're moving out like too fast. I think the corner lights are hella bright. They need to get turned down a little. Like 25. They're just catching too much bloom. Yeah. I might rework this foreground because I just don't like, maybe get rid of this light. Like I want it to look like there's a spotlight there, which I'm assuming that's what is actually happening in the scene. I just want, like, you see already just removing that one light how much it did for the drama and for like the cinematicness of the scene. Like I think I should have removed it a long time ago because now they feel like there's like quadrants. Like this is almost like this is a scene by itself. and there's a little bit of lighting. Like you can almost split the scene in half, and this works, and then this works. You know, like there's a different type of lighting, but overall there's like this cut right here of shadow, which works really well. All right, thanks Timmy or Jimmy. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming through. As 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 a scene is very well composited, I wonder if it works vertically with characters walking. Oh, yeah, I bet it could work vertically because a lot of the stuff is happening in the middle. So it definitely could, if that's what you mean, like cropped vertically, or do you mean just like, or what do you mean? I'm assuming you mean like vertical crop, like portrait format, and characters walking. Characters walking, possibly. I haven't done too much with characters walking and this kind of city stuff. It's usually static, but worth a shot if you want to give it a shot on your end. You mean glare bloom? Yeah, so I think also we're seeing, I think, the top of this, which would not make sense. So I think I need to actually do something here and rotate it down, because seeing the top of it doesn't make sense. So yeah, gonna try that. I genuinely think it looks a lot better compared to what it was earlier when we had like there was a scene I was working on, which I don't know if I'll show, but it was like one of Tetsuo on that gigantic like Akira cell. And I was working on that scene, and I ended up doing some relighting on my end to make it more cinematic and work for my purposes. But I copied the lighting almost exactly as it was in the anime in the film, and it was just looking flat, like it wasn't working. And then I deleted one of the lights, and suddenly there was like this dramatic dark area, light area, and then I added a sun lamp, and it made it look way more compelling. So even just here, like I deleted that one extra lamp I had, and I had it the whole time, and then just like immediately made the scene like 50% better. Now we're getting all this like shadow detail on the like the concrete. Now it's almost like funneling. It's creating more of a vignette around the edges, and the characters are more in focus. Also heading out. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for popping in. Just had the best drunk meal ever and enjoyed watching this. Oh, that sounds amazing. Drunk meal. Oof, those are fun. Well, have a good night. I'm glad I was able to provide some entertainment while you had a delicious drunk meal. Yes, exactly. What I'm so curious what your meal was. I don't want to keep you, but I gotta know this drunk meal. Nothing puts a smile on my face like a drunk meal, especially if it's good. Chicken and potatoes. Oh, that's rad. Chicken and potatoes. I was hoping it would be like chicken or something hearty like that. From Chile, nice. Or from Chili's, the restaurant? Or are you from Chile? I never know. You'll never know. Potatoes and chicken from Chili's, dude. Honestly, that would be a good drunk meal still. Not from the country, nice. Then you know what? They're even better. I bet they're even better. They're way better. They're probably way better than whatever the hell Chili's would make. What's up? Akira Awakened. Yeah, that's an animation by Ash Thorpe. It's really good. It he did it like ages ago, like before I even touched it. Um, but he did a like fan homage animation. He used like Cinema 4D, and I think he did it like with another artist who like did all this modeling. It's amazing. It's actually so good, and I've watched it probably 30 times. I've like studied it frame by frame, and it's so good. It's a good inspiration for me in what I'm doing, in the sense of like Ash really brought his own style to it, and he just leaned into what he really knows well, like these like wide cinematic shots. So then that encouraged me to, if I'm going to, touch on Akira, I want to also bring my own style to it and bring new life to it. So his is so sick. Like every frame is like a wallpaper. It's so damn good. And like I watched it so many times and I always thought it was really long. It's like a minute long. So you can make a short film and it's a minute long. It counts. And that definitely, I felt like that gave me permission to call mine a short film, even though it was like a little bit over a minute. Dude, so I've been reading the manga, and the manga has so much more life to it, so many more awesome scenes. I even did a video on my channel of one of the panels from the manga where like Tetsuo was like sitting on a pillar, and I love that panel so much that I was like, I gotta recreate it. I recreated it. Gunship reached out, they loved it. Ended up being a lyric video for them. Crazy how that worked out. But like the manga has so much more to it, like so much more story that they could easily just make a whole brand new anime film, like taking inspiration from the manga because there's more there. The original film is just like a condensed version, but there have been rumors about like Taika Waititi or like Leonardo DiCaprio, like these random people being attached to a live action um, Akira movie at some point. And I don't know. I just think it would be, I mean, it would be expensive. It'd be like a Marvel movie. But here's kind of like the sad thing. I don't think like, I'm not trying to sound like a boomer or something, but like I just don't think like nowadays people care about Akira in that way. Like it's a cultural icon. It is, and it has influenced so like the bike slide has influenced so many things. But I bet if you show like a kid Akira now, it would like look cool, but it's like different. It's like I went to anime convention, like a big anime convention. I went to Otakon, which is like a big anime convention in Washington D.C. And I went there and I was looking in the artist alley. There was like Dark Souls artwork. There was all this amazing artwork, amazing anime artwork, like pop culture artwork. And I saw one print. I saw two prints total that were like Akira, and I bought them both. And one of them was like really, really cool. And I was like, damn, like I didn't know you had Akira prints. Like I would have grabbed one. And he's like, yeah, dude, like nobody really like buys this stuff. Like nobody knows about it or nobody cares. And I was like, I mean, it's like it's like an 88 film. It's like 40 years old at this, yeah, like 40 years old. There's a lot of anime. There's a lot of good anime out there now. And yeah, so that's realistically, that would be the truth is that if they released a live action anime film like Akira, yeah, like a bunch of 30 something year olds would go watch it. But I don't know. I don't know. I know. I mean, you're telling me. I know. It's iconic. But I just that's my thesis at least. Like why there hasn't been invested in a movie. I also think like it's just kind of complicated. I don't know. It like if they were to make it more commercial and make it more easily understood by like people who are not familiar with it, it might be like they would have to dumb it down and then fans would get angry because they're like changing the source material too much. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think the best that you can enjoy is like seeing what it has influenced, seeing like the substance and like body horror type stuff, which you know it had. Like, have you seen the new Clayface trailer? That definitely has like body horror in the style of like Akira Tetsuo mutation type stuff in there. So yeah. Anyway, I don't want to keep you up. Go ahead and Evangelion. I know that's another one. It's like really psychologically weird. People won't get it, and it just like it'll probably flop at the box office. But yeah, have a good night. Make sure. Oh yeah, 2 hours. That's right. We're at the end. So I'm pretty happy with this. I deleted that one light. It completely finished the scene for me. So I'm gonna save this, but for anyone else left, I'm gonna show you a dope scene that I made um, for with the this was um, this was like a visualizer that I made inspired by like a Space Laces track, and this uses like really out there compositor stuff. Like, look at this. Look how insane that looks. It looks crazy, huh? It's like chromatic aberration galore. There's all this like doubling, and it looks crazy. I don't know if there's gonna be audio. Yeah, no, there's no audio. That's good. I don't want you to hear it. But this, without the, um, that's how it looks. Pretty simple. It's just a bunch of, it's eevee as well. I think RTX is off or on or something. But yeah, very simple building. In my video where I talk about tutorials, this is the I show the process for this. It's like sped up, but this is using only my building assets and just a couple of these big monolith ones in the middle, and then the compositor is just like it's doing all kinds of stuff. Let me see if I can pop it open here. Oh yeah, I think, let's see. So here's the compositor. And you can see not a ton of stuff. Unsharpened mask, which sharpens it. And then chromatic aberration. Directional blur, I think normally it's like something else, but directional blur is what kind of gives it this like zooming in effect. So if you like really, you can change the direction, and then oh yeah, factor. Whoa, warp speed. Look at that. That looks crazy. It looks like this would be really good for like a racing thing. Like you look like you're zooming, but it also looks crazy. I love it. But yeah, that's it looks crazy. But that is directional blur, and then glare and sensor noise on top of it. So if I mute that, so the sharpening, that's the thing about these nodes, is that they really stack in unique ways. So if you sharpen the hell out of something and then put the chromatic aberration on it, the chromatic aberration kind of blurs it because it is doing a directional blur. So you can see the edges here is kind of, oh, you good? I think my dog is having a little nightmare. It makes these blurry lines, but then if you put the sharpen before that, it like crusts it up in a weird way. And then put the glare on top of that. So if we turn off the sharpen, it's like blurry. But now every little like piece and artifact and stuff is like isolated. And then noise on top of that. So glare, noise on top of the glare, try that. Especially if you do a sharpen on top of the noise, it really like makes it crunchy. Like you can almost get this um like I don't know, like deep fried effect. this was like space laces. Look at look at just how weird that is. Like it looks weird, but it is legit. And the buildings are all like crashing into each other. They're like turning, so it looks extra weird. Look at the black outline of it. Like that looks cool. It looks weird, but I like it. You see? Like I don't know. I don't know. That looks weird, but it looks like a poster, like a doesn't it look like this could be a poster, like a flyer? It's so weird. It's so just too much. It's almost inverting, but this is an aesthetic, like deep fried aesthetic. You can make a deep fried filter. No, and sharpen. But yeah, the bloom on top of the chromatic aberration is a vibe. Let's see how it looks after. So yeah, it doesn't work as well. I like having the chromatic aberration first, so then it like blurs it and then it blooms what's left from that. So there's kind of like, and that's what's fun about the compositor nodes. You can really just like mix and match them all day long, and sometimes just swapping the place of two can give you a whole new effect. Offset, whoa, that's weird. Ooh, it's like 3D. Scale, that's cool. Let's do like 5. That's really weird. I don't hate it. It looks like a TV or something, like, you know? It almost gives everything like a ghosting effect. Dude. Whoa. Oh, that's weird. What am I looking at? Whew. We're going light speed. Jesus Christ. Lens dispersion. Oh, whoa. That's really cool. Like around the edges. Oh my God. Like that alone is fun to look at. Jesus. Oh my fucking God. Oh my God. So this is two things. This is one, Blender's compositor nodes, fun. But the second thing is that you can go past the limit. So if I reset this, normally it's from 0 to 1. It's like the suggested amount. But you can just put in a value of 10, you know? You can make it go crazier. You can do like 50? No. Oh, okay. Maybe it breaks after a certain point. Is 10 even different than 1? Yeah, 10 is different than 1. 2. Okay, wait. No, I think, but the scale, that lets you go crazy. Probably this is the limit. 1. 50. Stupid. Why does it even let you? What the fuck am I looking at? Oh my God, what is this? We're like in the Matrix. You know how like in Cyberpunk the game when you go into the world, the digital world, it looks like that to me. This so again, this is nuts. The fact that it just let's play it. Oh my God, it looks weird. Oh, it looks kind of bad actually. Oh, it looks really weird. It looks bad. But again, that the fact that you can go, it's like the sliders for zero from 0 to 1. Just please, just stay within that. No, going 50. Like more people need to do this kind of stuff where they just push Blender to that limit. Now there's 3 because I've offset them. What the fuck? Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, you're only supposed to set it off by 1, okay? Directional blur. Factor is 1 by default. If we do 10, oh my god. It like loses any semblance of a city. It's like a puzzle. It does look awesome though, like this. Doesn't this look like the PlayStation 2 screen or something? This is fun. I could just look at this all day, to be honest. And it's so like, whoa. This looks like an album cover. Samples? What if we do one sample? What is one sample? Oh, this is kind of like just regular scale. Whoa. Wow. This is, I'm gonna use this in something. I don't know what. This would be a sick transition into like the multiverse. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. This is so trippy. Dang. All right, I need to get off. I could be here all day. Because here's the thing. If we do directional blur, we could just take it, put another one in there. Now what are we doing? Where are we? What is this? Where are we? What? It looks like this. Boom. What am I looking at? This is how you know it's time to go to sleep. All right. That's it. Thank you for sitting with me and watching me just like freak out for these last couple minutes. But it's been fun. We're definitely done with that scene. I think next stream, whether it's tomorrow, I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow. Just try to do it every day until I can't do it anymore. Um, might just keep it a little bit shorter. I think an hour, hour and a half is like the golden amount of time for me. But tomorrow we'll look at the last shot and then we'll go into the next one. So thank you for watching and having fun. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.